Yes, good morning. Hello. Not good morning. It's morning here, so I'll say good morning. Peace and love to everyone. I'm back. Thoughts for the day and stuff. And it's funny because yesterday, I did my video, put it up and stuff, and even before the person who seen it, I got a call from a friend of mine, you know, I hadn't talked to him for a while. I meant to give him a call to just check on him and stuff, but I seen that he was in a relationship, and I understand, when you're building a relationship or when it's new, some of your old relationships sometimes suffer, and so I was giving him the space to do the thing. I figure we're gonna talk, and get together whenever and stuff, because I have relationships that I'm dealing with and working on at the same time and stuff, So I understand the space that's needed sometimes, and so he called me and he needed someone to talk to because the relationship didn't work out, and he needed to vent and all of these things, and it got me to, and it kind of was like some of the things that I was talking about yesterday. Um, in a, a lot of times we're not aware, you know, we seemingly are aware of, if we're in a relationship with another person to be intimate with. I say it like that. But we really, I think, a lot of times don't realize or pay enough attention to all the other relationships that we are involved in. You know, most of the relationships that we are involved in, we are involved in a lot of narcissistic relationships. And these narcissistic relationships, we feel like, um, well, I won't say we, I would say that it seems to me from my observation that people don't think they have a choice. When you don't when you feel as though you don't have a choice in a situation, you deal with it. Even though you feel like you know um they're taking advantage of you. You know, um you know so you don't have um you don't see a way out, and you know the way out of anything is to go in. You know, the way that we have been taught to handle things is completely wrong. It's completely reversed of how it should be. Let me give you an example. Um, when you're in a relationship, you know, you have to look at why. What are you choosing? What are you looking for? I give you. Let me. I'm trying to think of an example as a talk because I'm just talking from the heart. I'm talking off the top of my head. You know, um, most of like if you're in a relationship, what I'm saying, like the world today teaches you to look for certain things and stuff. How much money a person has, and all of these things. Like people say, and then the relationship with your children. That's a very important relationship. And you hear this a lot. I have heard this a lot. People say, "I'm not going to raise my children the way I was raised." And I mean, like I wonder, you know, we say a lot of things, but do we really think about what we're saying? Because there's a flip side to everything. And I think that a lot of times people say things with the intention of it meaning positive, but they're actually cursing themselves. And in that particular situation, when a person says, "I'm not going to raise my children the way I was raised," you're cursing the way you were raised and the people that raised you. You see, because you have to look at yourself as a result of whatever it was that you went through in life as a child. It got you to where you are now. Where it got you to a certain level. You see, now, of course, from there you had to rely upon yourself. You know what I'm saying, and the things that you um, 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 learned how to do in order to upgrade yourself. So when you look around and you have all the necessities of life, what is it that you were missing I think a lot of it is, I see people that want to give their children everything, and they don't build a relationship or give them the proper background or foundation to earn things they want to give them. That's my child, so I'm gonna make sure he have everything. You know what I'm saying? And see, now we go. Now we're gonna take some of the word and we're gonna break it down. It says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." Okay. Now most people relate that to a physical beating. The word of God or the word of Allah or anyone is not a physical word. These are not words that to be interpreted in a physical setting. You have to see because it comes from above. Everything that's up as above, so below. You see what I'm saying? So now you're down here, we are here in our physical presence. You see what I'm saying? And we're trying to take spiritual words or wording and turn it into a physical thing. But don't, no, you shouldn't beat your children. Well, you shouldn't. You see what I'm saying? The rod that is speaking of in the word is the rod of discipline, is the rod of focus, is the rod of righteousness. You see, these are the things, you know, that need to be instilled. That's the rod. When you don't use the rod and you're giving your children everything, I'm going to make sure they have everything. See? You are spoiling the relationship with your child because you're giving them the sense that they have an entitlement to be given things. You see, so we have a generation now that goes around and they are talking about somebody giving, us as a people something they owe us, you know. And in reality, yes, truthfully, they do owe us some things. You see what I'm saying? But if you are not in the proper frame, mind frame, and you receive things, you don't know how to handle them. You start looking for more because you're brought up with that mindset to be given something. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have the proper foundation to handle that which you're given. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna give it back to the person that give it to you. You see what I'm saying? That's why you reparation people out there and stuff. Where we want reparation. You cannot have reparations before reclamation. You see, and the relationship, the first relationship in life, it's not the relationship with your mother. It's not the relationship with your father. It's not even the relationship with the so-called God. It's the relationship with yourself and the God that is within you. You see what I'm saying? Because God does not live in no sky. The devil don't exist in no ground, hell, and all of that. These are all um, given to you and processed, into you as being physical places because you're on a physical plane, so you can only see things or you only interpret things, and there's nobody there that's telling you or that's showing you the other side. You see, because the other side, I mean, like I want to talk about this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's going on the round and stuff, and it says they're saying the devil doesn't come when you're doing wrong. He doesn't mess with you. He comes when you're about to receive, when it's time for you to receive something. And said, saying that is based upon the belief of God and the devil, as being something, you know, like how can I explain this? It's like they're supposed to be enemies, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Go to Job, read Job. The sons of God presented themselves, and the devil was with them. He was with the sons of God. You see what I'm saying? So they can't be that bad of an enemy because then God asked him, well, Lucifer, what you doing here? And he said, I'm going to and from the earth, licking up the dust. Who's the dust? Yes, that's us. You see, the thing is that the relationship with yourself is your foundation. You see, when you learn to be truthful to self, you see, to be honest, to be open, and to be willing to do the things that you need to do. You see what I'm saying? So when you start talking about, I'm not going to raise my children the way I was raised. You see what I'm saying? Were you raised with a foundation? You know, did your parents give you things or did they make you earn things? You see, because that's the rod that you've taken, you know, that you don't put on your children because you're giving them things. You see what I'm saying? You're not teaching them a sense of earn. You see what I'm saying? You know, they shouldn't get a pair of Jordans because everybody else is getting them. They need to get a pair if they earn it. You see, when you start to teach them true values in life, the things that this world is trying to project into them to say that this is value, this is riches, this is wealth. You see, it doesn't become important anymore because they understand true value and true wealth. True value and true wealth is within. You see, and it's your health. You know, health is wealth. That's the rich people. You see, people that got a bunch of paper, you know what I'm saying, and a bunch of property, you see what I'm saying, that they don't even own, you know. That's physical things, you know what I'm saying? And you know, they got this saying, you ever seen a Brinks truck behind the hearse? Or, you know, a U-Haul van? You know, all this stuff they got, they're gonna bury that with them. No, you're not King Tut. You know what I'm saying? You see, they used to do that back then. You know, they go dig up all the ancient Egyptian, you know, pharaohs, and they got all of this stuff in the tomb with the body, but there ain't nobody there because the body is nothing but a host, and it has a beginning, it has a start time and an end time. You see, it's a host for you. There's a disconnect in the relationship of everyday life with us as a person, as a people, because it's narcissistic. We are not being taught properly. You see, we're not being showed properly. It's not teaching. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think they're teachers. I know I'm not a teacher. All I'm doing is sharing my experience. You see what I'm saying? Because the ultimate teacher for each individual is self. The only one that can teach you something is you. You know what I'm saying? Because I can show you all day long, but until you get there and do the work, you won't know. You see, a person who's never done can only talk, but they don't know. But the one that's done, he knows because he's done. They're done. You see what I'm saying? You have to put in the work, you know? So, uh, 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 um, you know, there's no such really as like people say teacher, you know, and all of this, but and truthfully and stuff, they're instructors. You know what I'm saying? I can be an instructor. You know, I can instruct you in things that I've done, tell you what I did, you know, give you a blueprint. Now you got to figure it out yourself and stuff. You have to build your castle the way you want it to be. You see what I'm saying? All you need is the outline. You know what I'm saying? But they are not providing the outline. They're not providing the outline financially. They're not providing the outline uh, 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 spiritually, religiously. You see, legally, no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And then the people like us who come on and talk about these things, they try to make us look like something is wrong with us. You know, the belief of something is just that. It's the belief. You have to be willing to put into action. It's okay to make a mistake. It's not okay to continue to make that mistake. Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow with some more thoughts for the day. Peace and love.